Well, hello everyone. Welcome to World at War Comics. I am really excited to talk to Rael, Nagasta, and Mr. N. Stephen Harris, two of this amazing team around Indigo Clan. I can't wait to jump into it. Just right now, the Kickstarter launched, and man, you're right on your way. And this is a collection, I understand, of the first five issues, and there's a lot of really cool stuff that has been added. So I hope as we get into this, we'll be able to dig in a little bit. But before we get into that, how are both of you doing today?
I'm doing well.
Nice. Very good. Me and Rye, we kind of had some conversation before we hit the record button, and I was just admiring that background and that room that you've created. Pretty awesome, man. And then Stephen, it's a pleasure meeting both of you. But let's jump in, man. I'm gonna go ahead and share the Kickstarter in a moment. But before we get into that, I'd love to kind of go back in time a little bit, talk a little bit about this passion for storytelling, anybody who's kind of influenced you in being a storyteller. If it's okay, we'll start there. Is that all right?
Sounds good, man.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Ryan, why don't we start with you, my friend? Like, if you could go back in time, like, what were some of the stories that really kind of you encouraged you to get into storytelling? Was there anybody in your life that really kind of pushed you in that direction?
Um, yeah, as a child, young teenager, I used to actually draw a lot. I was inspired by comics, a lot of X-Men because the X-Men cartoon was pretty big at that time. And I used to make up my own characters as well. And I was really into that. And I started to tell stories around then, but I didn't really, I'd never really finished anything. It was just something that I thought would be cool to do, but it was like, oh, this is hard. I don't know. And then, I spent a lot of my years as a young adult researching spirituality, spiritual systems, metaphysics, shamanism, like conspiracy theories, a lot of different things. Um, and in that research, just came across all these concepts, all these myths, started to kind of have this, see how things were connected and from all over the world and all these different times and places. And the story started to come, characters started to come to me like, oh, I have this vision of this character who does capoeira and he uses sacred geometry and, just kind of had these ideas. And so friends were doing comics. My friend Jewel, she had a comic called Afrocentric that got kind of big when she was working on it, and I was like, oh, like people are doing doing this. It's doable. And I had ideas for movies, but it's like I don't have $1 million or $100,000 even to like make this type of movie, but I could write a comic. Like I could really represent all these ideas and things I have in that format of a story. So that's yeah, a little bit of how I got started.
Yeah, and then some of this story, the Indigo Clan, did it start at that time, or was that later on in life when this story started coming together?
I mean, for me, the story represents it's inspired by real life
Mhm.
experiences. It's inspired by my own experiences and people I met and people having actual like extrasensory perception, mystical experiences. Like I had friends that could like see auras and chakras and astral project and all these types of things. And so yeah, that was a big part of it.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. And then Steven, I know that you've been in the comic world for a couple years, I would say, right? You've
Yeah.
done a lot of things around comic books. When did this storytelling side begin for you? When did that passion begin?
Oh wow, that started when I was going in between junior high school and going into high school. But I was always drawing, always doing art. I was inspired by, I mean, Star Wars inspired me. Japanese animation inspired me, and then later on, I was always collecting comics. I was collecting Star Wars comics, but I started collecting comics when I was in high school consistently. After not the X-Men cartoon, but when the X-Men appeared in Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, and that's how far back I go. So 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 that inspired me to do more of a storytelling medium with my artwork rather than the one scene space battle scenes I was drawing. And if I was going to do if I was going to tell a story, that means I got to learn how to draw the human figure because there's going to be characters in there, as opposed to just drawing spaceships and battleships and whatnot. So I started collecting comics with the intent of looking at the artwork and getting involved in the story and getting familiar with the artists that were drawing the comic books. And my first influences were Arthur Adams, Michael Golden, John Reader Jr., John Byrne, and then later on became Garcia Lopez, Barry Wintersmith. Oh boy, so many others.
Those are
Larry,
good ones.
huh?
Those are good ones.
Yeah, Larry Stroman. I became, and later on, I was an assistant to Dennis Cowan. That helped me out a lot. A student of Michael Davis when he was doing a class in Harlem. And I met him and Dennis the same day. And I was in college at the time, so that was my growth, my getting into storytelling and my learning period of storytelling and comics.
Amazing. And then how did you all come together for this particular story in Indigo Clan?
Well, Ryle said we met in 2017. I remember at Afro-Punk in New York, and I'm sorry I forgot about that, man. But what I do remember is when he hit me up in 2019, uh, in early 2019, like January, to do the Indigo Clan book, and so we've been together since that time.
That's incredible. And then Raya, were you already familiar with Steven's work from, Marvel and DC and some of the other stuff that he's done?
Not before I met him. Yeah, because we debuted the chapter one of the comic, myself and the artist who did chapter one, Anthony Angelero, shout out. And so we were vending there, and Steven walked by, and he was like, "Hey," like Anthony went up to Steven, like, "Hey, he's a famous artist. Like, check out our comic book." And Steven was like, "Yeah, cool, all right, yeah, you know." And we had a quick introduction, so I knew who he was. I started following him on Instagram, and then after that, then I started to look into his work. Aztek was an amazing comic that he came up with, like him and
The Grant Morrison and Mark
Grant
Miller.
Grant Morrison. Grant Morrison's one of my favorite writers, like yeah, like definitely inspired the Indigo Clan. And so um, I got that. I got Michael Cray, I got Anjala, and became a fan of his work after meeting him and working with him.
That's pretty crazy. I feel like there's a lot of indie comic creators, right, that have a story.
Mm.
And we're always searching for an artist that, at least on my side, that you could afford. And then all of a sudden, you have Uri and you meet Steven, and you're obviously you had issue one there, so you already had the storyline started. But to be able to get someone of that caliber to come onto an indie book, I think is every indie creator's dream. I mean, that's pretty awesome, man. I mean, congrats to you and the rest of the team, man. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you, Steven.
Yeah, I love it, man. That is crazy. And then Steven, as far as Indigo Clan, did like what did it take to get you to come over and to start to help develop and build out the story with Ryan and the rest of the team? You already read issue one at that time, or what was the attraction that you're like, man, this could be a really cool thing that we do together?
Oh well, it was draw. It was, I like drawing action. I like drawing people in action. The martial arts aspect was a draw to it, and just to weigh out mysticism and and metaphysics was pretty cool too. A lot to draw, but it was still cool because team whether it's what team books are team books, whether it's Avengers or Indigo Clan. If there's more than three people in there, it's gonna be a challenge to draw those people in the group and compose them in panels. But it was still fun to drawing the chase scenes, uh, anything the action that happened was very fun to draw, and it's not just the action, but some other moments too. But yeah, so those the draw to it.
That's incredible. And then, Ryan, I love to ask this question of writers and creators when they're collaborating with an artist. especially someone at the caliber of Steven, when you give a script, like how much of the back and forth takes place once the script is given? And then have you ever had the experience where maybe Steven has sent over a page and maybe it was a little different from what the script said, but you saw what he did with the art and you're like, maybe I should make some adjustments on my end because that looks pretty dope.
Yeah, I mean, I try my best to incorporate what they call like the Marvel style, or what's it called? Yeah, like the
Marvel way.
Marvel,
Yeah.
yeah, the Marvel way. Although I have such a clear vision of what I'm looking for, I put a lot of details in. I put reference images in, and all these things, and yeah, definitely some of those things. I'm like, I don't know how somebody's gonna draw this.
Maybe Steven thinks the same thing, right? When he gets the script.
So, you know, this definitely happens a lot because, like Steven said, there's some far out kind of stuff, some far out mysticism and stuff in there. So, you know, um, yeah, there's definitely been times when the art comes better than I visualized it. I mean, that the whole thing is like that, but you know, some scenes I'm like, I don't know how he's gonna do this, and he does it.
Well, I leave some things open because I mean, like the effects I leave open for Walt, the colorist, because he could do magic with the colors.
Yeah.
It's just yeah, it's just the certain special effects in there that is like I I'm better off leaving it alone and let Walt handle it, and leave it open and let Walt handle it from his end because he's a much very skilled colorist and he can really handle those effects.
Incredible. I mean, it's in, I don't think people that have not created a comic book realize how all these pieces are so important for that final to come out to your point, Stephen, the pencils, the
Mm-hmm.
inks, right? Even the lettering, right? Lettering is so important. You could
Yeah.
have beautiful pages and the lettering's not right. It'll throw the reader off a little bit.
Oh
So
yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah, it's pretty impressive when it all comes together. But by this point, with 5 issues and now the trade coming out, I feel like it's old hat maybe for all of you since you've been working together for at least what 4 issues, right, Stephen, with you?
Oh yeah. Four. Yep.
4 issues, yeah.
Yeah.
And plus some extra stuff. And then, I've had Joseph Illidge on a couple times, and I absolutely love him. Another legend within the industry, milestone, and right now he's working on Bloodletter. Like you have really put together a pretty impressive team. It's incredible, man. And once we get into the Kickstarter, we'll see all the different members, and I would love to get an introduction from both of you on some of the other folks. But obviously, Joseph, like you, Stephen, pops up. If you've read comic books for 15 years or so, you probably know these names already because they
Yeah. Well, Joe and I
really
went to school
did.
together. Joe and I went to college together.
Oh, did you really?
Mhm.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, just absolutely incredible. When I was going through the Kickstarter and then right when you were sending me some of the information, I'm like, well, this is like it's more than just your average like indie. Like I have a lot of folks that create comic books on, and I love that, right? And I love to help get that word out. But when you see a team like this, you're like, man, this is like a
Mm.
legit group right here putting something pretty intense together. And then, like you said, Ryan, once you start to get into the story and you start to see, I don't want to say complexity because I don't want to scare people away. It's a very smooth and awesome read, a lot of action, but there's a lot of detail that goes into that, and you're learning a lot of other things that maybe a lot of readers haven't been exposed to before. And I know this is extremely important to you, right? Can you kind of talk about some of the spirituality and some of the things that you have studied in your past and be able to bring that into the story and how important it is for people to see that side of you?
Yeah, I mean, it's for me, the comic book represents a movement that's out here that's already happening. And when I was younger, it was in different cultures. Like hip hop had a conscious aspect to it. You know, punk rock had like a political aspect to it, and then there was a lot of when I was first writing the comic, that's right after like Heroes came out. I don't know if you remember that TV series, but it was like, okay, like this stuff is out there.
Save the children, save the world.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. And also, I wanted also to represent diversity in it, and I wanted to represent something that was a little bit closer to reality, although Indigo Clan's not fully realistic, but it deals with ideas, spiritual ideas, metaphysical ideas, mystical concepts that, you know, uh, people can really access these states of consciousness, can really expand on the potential of what it is to be human, and it's a lot more than what we're shown in mainstream media and what we're told in our lives, and this culture of awakening, this movement of awakening is out there, and folks are waking up, and it's hard. And for me, what was super helpful was to know that there's other people out there that are like this, and that we're out here like, and that we um there is a culture of it. And so this comic book was also to, be a part of this culture, promote this culture, expand on the culture.
I
Yeah.
love it, man. As I was reading through it, I was learning a lot as well. And you kind of mentioned conspiracy theories because you mentioned a lot of different things, and there is some conspiracy theories in there too. I was like, lizard people and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, this is dope, man. I'm actually loving this, man. Sometimes I'm up way too late on YouTube at night, and you start to see some videos like, man, I better go to bed, man. This is getting a little out there, bro. But it's fun, man. I really enjoy this. So the blend that you've been able to put within that story, and then obviously there's I think a really important and more serious tone that I think flows through all of it too. And I think you nailed a lot of those points in what you just mentioned about diversity, about being human, about understanding the human element and how it functions and how it affects others. All of that is kind of wrapped into that, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, yeah, thanks.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, Steven, as far as everything that Rye was talking about, had you already been exposed to a lot of these things within that culture before, or was some of this new for you as well?
No, some of it like chakras, um, the a little bit of the learning tree and the different chakras of the body. A little bit, and not deep, not anything deeply, but I'm familiar with some of the stuff that Rye references in the comic book. And
Very
if I
cool.
don't, my wife knows a little bit more of it than I do.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like I learned a lot, so I thought that was pretty cool as well. If it's okay, I would love to kind of share the Kickstarter and let people know what they could expect by backing, right? Issue 5, this is a completed series, and then there's some really cool things that you're doing within this collected works too, a lot of little extras that fans are going to get. So even if you have already delved into the first 5 issues, you're going to get a little bit more too by backing this. So I thought that was really cool as well. If it's okay, I'll go ahead and share the screen and let's just take a look at it together.
Okay.
Y'all see my screen okay?
Hmm.
Switch
Yeah,
over.
so
Mhm.
here it is. Here's the goal. Launching today. So make sure that you get over there. You click on the link. The link will be below. And also, I'll make sure I put everyone's socials below, your website below, all that good stuff. So if you want to dig into even more and you want to follow this journey, because my assumption is the journey is not even close to being over yet. This is like an arc that is finished and that we're going to continue. But yeah, you could dive right in. I thought maybe we could kind of go through it though and kind of give a little bit of a background for people that might not be aware of Indigo Clan. And I don't know if it's okay, Ryan. Could you kind of maybe provide like an elevator pitch as to what fans could expect through these 5 issues?
Yes, I uh let me see. I Indigo Clan is a visionary comic book series about Deva, a teenage black girl prodigy from Oakland, California, and she's discovering how to use her indigo powers. And then in the book, after she barely escapes from being captured by the Reptoids, she joins the Indigo Clan, a mysterious group of mystic warriors on a mission to activate Earth's sacred energy.
I love it, man. I love it. So I mean, right away in issue 1, it is Deva and it is who's the gentleman's name?
Angso.
Ongso, yeah. Yeah, they meet someone pretty special and that person has an effect on them that I don't think they realize what that was yet. And then not too far after that, there's a chase, and then a lot of this is revealed for the first time. And I feel like over the next like 4.5 issues, you see the impact of that one experience and how it expands, and then their eyes are open to this other world where other Indigo children are there, and then they have this other side too that wants to capture these folks for some pretty evil intentions, I believe, right? So
Yeah.
like you said, Steven, if you love action, I mean, right away, I think on page 2 or 3 of issue 1, it jumps right in with the chase. And then just through all 5 issues, there's a lot of action. So I absolutely love that as well. So I felt like I was learning like this whole world that exists, like some of it exists, some of it doesn't, but it's all been brought together in this world that I was learning. And then on the other side, you have all this action sequences that are taking place. It was a perfect blend, I felt.
Nice. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I love it. So here's what it's going to look like, right? So here's book 1. This covers all 5 issues. Um, and then we could jump right into some of the art here. And Steven, I didn't know if you wanted to kind of let us know as we go through some of the art, some of the process that went into developing the characters. I mean, I love the character development through this. If you could kind of talk about that collaboration on what the characters would look like, and then, obviously those the personas of each of those characters, that would be really cool as well.
Well, Ryan, created characters. I just drew them. So I mean, only two that I had a hand in creating, as far as visually, were the two women, uh, was it Gamali and Samal, Smal,
Samia
Samia, yeah.
Yeah.
And as far as their look, with Ryan's
and
description,
what's the Masashi?
Amos, the Japanese guy,
Yeah,
yeah. Oh yeah, that's the Star Ops guys.
yeah,
Startups,
Yeah. So it's just a matter of with the ones that they're already established. Horatio, Anxo is just doing my take on it, and with the Star Ops people, uh, um, just a mix of archetypes and just giving them their own physical characteristics, like the military guy.
yeah.
What's his name? All right.
Romano, or yeah, I
Yeah,
think.
Sergeant Romano. Yes, I figured I figured he'd be a Southern Midwestern type of dude, a square jawed type of military guy. And then there's J Tech. You say he was? Did you describe him as a pretty a kind of a nerd, but still like a military guy with all the tech?
Right.
Yeah, so it gave him certain look. Still um, buff military guy, but still all the tech and whatnot. So um, and I kind of base looks to just to differentiate. Uh, Maybe I use geometry like different shapes of bodies, silhouettes, head shapes. So just to start out off as a basis for to differentiate people from one another. Then it goes into different noses, eyes, eyebrows, or whatever, hairstyles, what have you, to just differentiate, give more characteristics, more individuality to their.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I try to do.
Yeah, Stephen, actually, I think you made most of the Star Ops, including Celevis. I just I didn't really have super specific designs, so we didn't do character designs for them. We just went straight into the book. Um, Celevis, like, who's the leader of the bad guys, the Star Ops, supernatural trackers of arcane recon operations. That's what Star Ops stands for. And then, um, Masashi and Samia Gamali. Those are all the star ops in the comics. So Steven came up with the designs for all those.
Yeah, incredible. The Star Ops were scary, pretty dope though. I actually really liked them, to be honest, even though they're probably not the best people. But you also called them something, the Reptoids, right?
Yeah, so the reptoids are um, demonic reptilian spirits that possess people who are especially have a lot of hatred, greed, selfishness, anger, And so these reptilian spirits are able to manipulate those people, and those people tend to be people in power, authority, politicians, these types of things. So that they're used like the reptoids are using their um basically using these politicians to, gain control over the world and um, tap in, find indigos to be able to use their powers to their advantage to enhance their control.
Yeah, doesn't sound relatable at all. What's going on? I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. That sounds way out there. So, there's got to be something like that going on, man. Something like that going on.
Yeah.
The art is amazing, though, man. Look at this. It's
Yeah,
absolutely.
so this section, we're just kind of explaining the world of the Indigo Clan because it's, for somebody who doesn't know about any of this, it's kind of a big jump from like into some of these concepts. So, there's even a part where I'm like kind of defining terms a little bit, letting folks know what they're getting into.
Yeah. And I love that they're all skilled in martial arts too, man. Because wait till you see some of the fight scenes, folks that are watching, and the fight scenes are pretty amazing, man. I love it. I love it. And then you get into some of the characters, some of the most important characters. So I would say this is kind of the star right here, Deva, who is absolutely phenomenal throughout it. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
this drawing is by Walt. The drawing and colors by Walt Masson Zabarna. He's a brother from he's from Mozambique but lives in South Africa right now.
Wow, that looks amazing. Absolutely incredible. And then being Northeasterners, and you're in Brooklyn, right?
I'm in
Is
Brooklyn.
that you,
Yes.
Steven? All right, Steven's in Brooklyn. Where are you at, Rye? Are you on the West Coast?
Yeah, I'm in an SF Bay Area, San Francisco
Okay,
Bay
yeah.
Area.
I
Yeah.
was trying to figure out where Oakland came in when I was saying, so that makes a lot of sense. Yep. Got
Yeah. Yeah.
Oaktown represented there. I'm from SoCal, so I live in
Oh,
Texas
okay.
today, but I was born and raised in San Bernardino and, really closely to LA and then moved out toward the desert once we started having kids.
Uh-huh.
But definitely familiar with California and Oakland,
Yeah.
San Francisco.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. If you know about Oakland, then you can,
Yeah,
understand the story a little more because this is where my experiences were happening. And it's like Oakland's, a lot of things. It's also very gangster and there's also a very conscious, a very, very big conscious movement here as well.
absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of history there, to be honest. Quite a bit of history.
Right.
There's Ongso, who I absolutely loved as well. You get to see him pretty quick. And yeah, all the design work is amazing, man. This one was one of my favorites right here. Yamaya from Mexico. Um, My wife is Mexican descent, and she's part of the Yaqui tribe, which was kind of like in the border area through Arizona. So her grandfather was part of the Yaqui tribe, so she's what, a quarter Yaqui, and then the rest
Uh-huh.
Mexican. But
Okay.
when you see something like this, right, there's things in well, her grandfather or her, yeah, her grandfather's passed now, but he had a lot, obviously, from the tribe within his home, which was really cool to kind of see some of the history and how important that was. So that's
Yeah, so Yamaya, she's based on a good friend of mine,
Hmm.
a woman who was deep into shamanism, and I saw her, she like did some powerful healings. She did a powerful healing on me. She used to like have all these experiences and things. I'd be like, whoa, like you're on another level here. And so
Hmm.
when I was writing the comic book, she helped me because she was going through some things in her life, and so we kind of were hanging out together. I was supporting her, and I was like, okay, what would you say in this scene? So the characters are on the beach, and they need to go to Mount Tam, and like, what's gonna make that connection? And she's like, oh, well, I would say like the ocean winds are telling me that we need to go to the top of the mountain to activate the energy there. And I was like, okay, put that into the story. So yeah.
That is awesome. Now, obviously, as you're creating and world building, how much are you taking from like history And how much are you taking from just your imagination building upon some of the ideas that you had? Is there like a percent between the both? Is it just a blend of both, or is it more on the realism side?
I mean, everything's inspired by reality, and then I exaggerate it the most I can without turning it into fantasy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome, man. I absolutely love that. That's why as you're digging into this, I think you're going to learn a lot as well. Here's Horacio, which was pretty cool as well. I mean, all the character development was crazy. Oyana from India. So you do have a quite a diverse, eclectic group from all around the world that have come together for good, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, different cultures even. Yeah, you know, this guy's from Samoa, Koa from Samoa, and just wanted to represent that diversity as much as possible here.
And as far as the spirituality, was there some study from all these different cultures from around the world? And were you able to find like portions of that that could relate to one another that would help develop the story?
Definitely, I mean, that was part of the inspiration of the story is researching all these different spiritual systems and religions and things and finding the connection between them all. And that's my own spiritual path too, is like, oh, okay, like what is a connection? And learning about new things, it's like, how can I incorporate that if it's relevant, if it feels, if I resonated with it, and so for me, it's part of this path of like of returning to unity, where we can all come together because there's so much differences with religions and cultures and beliefs, but if we can find common themes throughout all that, then the world can come closer to a peaceful way of existence.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%, man. 100%. Were you surprised by anything, Raya, as you were kind of digging into different cultures? Was there anything you're like, oh, wow, I had no idea? Was it all like that? Or did you already kind of have an understanding? Like, what was that experience like as you're digging in?
I mean, when I was really young, when I was a young adult, I don't want to date myself too much there, but when I was a young adult, I was um, really thirsting for something supernatural, something that was beyond like what we're told is usually like reality, and so for me, some of the real surprises came from the experiencing certain things, and you know, to be honest, some of those experiences had to do with like plant medicines,
Hmm.
and that's part of my path right now in this uh, learning about shamanism, and then going to the Amazon, and just recently going deeper into it, and it's like it's really profound, and yeah, so still learning, still getting surprised, like, oh, okay, that's I didn't know it was like that. So yeah, there's a lot of surprises out there, good ones and difficult ones.
Right, right. I could
Yeah.
only imagine. Yeah, only imagine. Here's Sakala from Colombia. Absolutely amazing, man. Very cool stuff. And then Steven, has this caused you to dig in and learn a little bit more, or you're just taking the comic book and you're getting all your education on all of this through the comic book?
Well, it's a little bit of both. I was familiar with some of the stuff going into it, but this has helped a lot, and um, but almost more focused on doing these jobs.
Yeah, yeah, I understand.
Actually, this character, Steven also designed this character here, Flux. I forgot about that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Horse from New York, right, Steven?
Was that?
From New York?
Yeah, I grew up in Jersey, but I've been in New York for a lot of all my adult life.
Oh, okay, very cool, man.
Well, he was saying Flux is from New York, right?
Yeah, Fluck is
So,
from New York. So.
It's Flux from New York?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And you said you wanted to draw him as a pretty boy or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. I think because you gave me, I think you said he was a mix of Asian and African American or something like that,
Uh-huh.
or some Asian mix and African mix, and so yeah, I had to go with that.
Nice. I love it, man. Very cool. All right, here we go. The Reptoids here.
Remind me of the ages from uh Matrix.
Let me, yeah.
Uh, I mean, definitely super inspired by The Matrix. That came out when I was a teenager and just mind blowing. And then later learning more and more about metaphysics, like, oh, that's, kind of true. Like, you
Exactly. It's
know,
kind of scary.
yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I don't want to know, you know? Uh, very cool though, man. Here's Stevovitz that you were talking about, who is the leader, right?
Leader of the Star Ops.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at those eyes, man. Those are up to no good eyes right there, man.
He's got an agenda.
Got an agenda, man. Reminds me a little bit of Spawn or something, you know?
Uh,
That's the level of evil that I'm thinking right now, man. And then
wow.
you jump into the story, which we kind of talked a little bit about, but just absolutely incredible, man. Like anybody watching this, man, get over to the Kickstarter, check it out. All the information you need is here. I think you're going to be blown away like I was once you're digging into it. It's a lot of fun. I love this panel right here. That is dope. Gives me little Green Lantern vibes a little bit.
Yeah, they're in the astral plane.
Yeah.
Astral plane battle. Yeah, that was Steven's ability to take my far out ideas and turn it into something we can see.
Steven, what did you ever reach out to Rye? Go, all right, man. I see what you want to do here, but you know how hard it is to actually bring that to paper?
Nah,
He's
no,
figured
no,
it out.
I would no, I've never done that. No,
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah. You're a pro, man. I'm sorry, bro.
no,
Don't
I've never.
man.
No, I got it.
You're like, oh hell
I
no,
got it.
Tommy, that's ridiculous.
I got to meet the challenge. I mean, yeah. Only time I would say something, but this hasn't happened so far. If some people have uh a one person doing too many actions in the panel, that's about it.
Yeah, yeah. Incredible. And then we have the covers right here for each of the chapters. So here's chapter one,
Mhm.
which I'm really appreciative that you gave me some insight into each of these chapters, Ryan. I appreciate you sending those over, man. It certainly helps when you're having a conversation to have a background. So I appreciate that. I really do.
Yeah, yeah. You're
Very cool.
welcome. And then also here on the Kickstarter, folks can get a free preview if you go down a little bit. Right there, click
Oh
to
yeah,
here
right
to
here. Yep.
preview. So I'll bring you to a link on the website where, I think it's the first 7 pages of chapter one. So you can see what you're getting into.
Oh, you'll be jumping right into that chase scene. So that'll
Uh-huh.
be cool, man. That's a good first few pages to jump into, man. You'll be able to see the action right away.
Yeah.
And I feel like the plot, right? The foundation of it, you get all of that in the first 7 pages, which is awesome, man. The hook, you get the hook right away.
Uh-huh.
Here's the issue two cover, which is dope.
Yeah,
Love
this
it.
is one of my favorite covers. Like, this is a vision I had for a while of like the Indigo Clan are riding motorcycles, there's dragons, there's spiritual things happening, and they're like, and then in this chapter two is the epic motorcycle chase scene, which I had, I'm like, it's not just gonna be a regular chase scene, like they're gonna be jumping off of motorcycles and there's gonna be dragons and all these things. So yeah.
Oh, that was awesome, man. Absolutely loved it. Loved it. Here's three,
Mhm.
which is dope too. And the colors are phenomenal, man.
Yeah, this is probably most people's favorite. I know it's Steven's favorite.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
It just
Yeah.
pops. I love the yellow background, and I think everything else is like right in your face because of the background too.
Mm.
And
It pops with,
the harpy eagle, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
it.
there's a
I
heartbeat.
mean, I first heard of that when reading this book, and researching harpy eagles, and they're huge. I thought the golden eagle was big. I think they're bigger than the golden eagle.
Yeah, no, they are. I mean, I'm a big, I know I'm going to really make myself even more nerdy than I am, but I
Go
love
for it.
hawks and falcons. And as my son's 25 now, so he will never admit this to a friend, but growing up, we lived near Palm Desert, Palm Springs when they were born because we had moved out there when we started having kids. To get out of San Bernardino, it was a little rough in San Bernardino, so we wanted to get out to the desert. And there's
Mhm.
eagles everywhere. You have golden eagles off the San Gorgonio Mountains down there. There's, falcons, peregrine falcons. You got all kinds of stuff. And as we started digging into it and obviously going and watching, nature shows, the harpy eagle is insane. It's like 2.5 feet tall, has like a 7 or 8 foot wingspan. I mean, they are mean. Like they kill deer, like small deer. I mean, they're they're no joke, man.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought the golden eagle was even big was the biggest one because I remember seeing years ago. I remember seeing YouTube videos
Hmm.
of the those I think the people in I'm not in one of the stands countries. I'm not sure, but it was one of those countries where they trained golden eagles to go after wolves.
Yeah.
And I said these eagles are taking out wolves, and
Yep.
that's a harpy eagle. I said, oh man, harpy. I don't want to be near any. I don't want to be near any of those two eagles.
I mean,
But the golden eagles here in America too.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. There's golden eagles in Southern California and like the Big Bear Mountains. I mean, they're rare to see, but they're
Yeah.
definitely there.
So
Uh,
those same ones that can carry a goat and just drop it on the ground, right? Those
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, you see videos of them. Yeah, the Harpy Eagle's the same thing. They're that big, right? So I
Yeah.
don't know which one is actually bigger. I think they're both pretty big. In
Yeah.
fact, there's a zoo in Palm Springs or Palm Desert that has a golden eagle, and it was caught as a baby, so they can't release it back into the wild. But man,
Uh-huh.
you stand next to it while it's in its closure, and it comes up to your waist. I mean, they're just
Yeah.
gigantic birds, man.
Yeah.
It's
And their claws are huge, man.
huge. I mean, it's probably shouldn't get into that, but there's stories of like small children being picked up by them. It's like
Wow.
it's crazy, man. So yeah, keep me away too. But I love to see them. I mean, they're just such a beautiful, stoic creature. And this cover having the harpy eagle on there, and you can always tell the harpy because of like the
Yeah, the
feathers on
crown.
the head
Yeah.
right there. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I was like, oh, that's a harpy right there, man. That's dope.
Yeah.
That's only usually up when it's sitting when it's like perched. It doesn't really do that when it's flying, right?
That's a good. I don't know about that one, Steven. You're probably right though. Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, I'm just going based on pictures, but I don't know for sure. I can't say for sure.
Yeah, all I know is they are badass, man.
Oh
There's
yeah.
something you don't want to mess with, that's for sure.
Oh no no no.
Definitely kings and queens of the sky for sure. And here's issue or chapter 4, which is pretty dope as well. I mean, all the covers are amazing, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
Combination of sometimes I have like a super clear vision, and sometimes I'm like kind of leave it more open. And then me and Steven kind of builds on ideas, and start with some thumbnails and
yeah,
dial it in with a sketch.
love it, man.
Yeah.
And then here's this one right here, chapter.
Yeah, that was all Walt right there.
Is
Yeah,
this Walt?
Yeah.
Walt Barnett did chapter 5 cover.
Yes. I'm telling you, the background really makes it pop, I think, man.
Yeah, the are conceptual. Like these are all designs from, either Hawaii or Samoa.
Mhm.
And so I, was doing research like what are the meaning of the designs, and just wanted to tie some culture into it.
Yeah, well, I think it worked. I think it worked, man. I love it, man. Then we got some panels in here. That's pretty tight too. Yeah, we won't give anything away, but this reminds me of the escape in we'll just say one of the chapters, but yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's cool, man. Congratulations on all the nominations, by the way. That's huge.
Yeah, I as a publisher, indie publisher and kind of getting into it, you know, I didn't do it until chapter 5 of submitting it to all the different rewards, and then I was like, oh, like what am I doing, So for any indie publishers or aspiring writers or publishers out there, like, you know, submit your works to all the different um award giving platforms out there.
No, absolutely get recognized. You gotta get recognized for especially something like this where so much has gone into it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you talked about, and you mentioned this at the beginning, Rye, about the purpose, right? There is a purpose behind all these chapters, and you kind of laid it out right here, and you laid it out at the very beginning. But I love that, man. I love that.
Yeah, despite all the metaphysics and spirituality and all these things, the core message for me is that we all have a unique purpose. And but when we really step into that purpose and a a purpose that helps others, and when we really step into that purpose, then the world becomes a better place. And so, for example, Stephen, he's been on his purpose. Like he's an artist and he's been pursuing that for these 30 plus years. And so, that's an honor to work with somebody that's really living that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Very cool, man. Some more pages in here. It just came out really nice though, man. And then shout out to the colorist, the letter, even your logo. I know you mentioned at the bottom of the Kickstarter. What was the gentleman's name that made your logo?
Yeah, Ross Terms.
Yeah, very
Mm.
cool.
Yeah, he's a friend of mine. He's like really well-known graffiti muralist.
Oh, damn. Now you're
Yeah.
talking my language, man.
Oh
Oh,
yeah?
man. Yeah, I mean, graffiti art was huge in high school. This is the late 80s when I was in high school. We had handball courts, so we play handball during
Uh-huh.
and stuff. And then on the back wall, because it was a huge wall, it's probably 150 feet long and maybe 20 feet high. And obviously, a graffiti was a big problem in cities like San Bernardino. And so our principal, she allowed all the graffiti artists, as long as there wasn't anything profane or anything, to go ahead and do designs. And so each of us got sections of the wall, and we were able to do some graffiti art. And it was awesome, man.
Oh
We had
yeah,
artists
you've
come
done
from
graffiti?
LA. I'm sorry.
You did graffiti?
Growing up, I did. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
I still have some. I have like an old like 1/10 train where I've tagged all across it and stuff like that. I have some stuff in the closet. Yeah, but yeah,
Okay.
I grew up with that. I was. You ever see a group of Mexicans or African Americans? There's always that one white guy, and that was me. There's always one white boy, and that was me, man. So I grew up in the area I grew up was highly Hispanic. So
Uh-huh.
it's Wedo, Blanco, Casper, all the names that a white boy would have when he's hanging around with a bunch of Mexicans. So that's, but anyways, yeah, I absolutely loved it, man. I wouldn't change my upbringing for nothing, man.
Uh-huh.
But I love this right here, man.
Yeah, Walt really went in the bag for this source, the color work he did with the light sources, and
Yeah, page one of chapter 5. Not to
Wow.
give away too much, but
So dope. This could be a cover, guys. This could be a cover right here.
yeah.
That's amazing, man.
And then the line work what Steven did on that is like,
It's
you know,
so sharp, man.
yeah. And then we can kind of see here there's a little duality going on. What, just on his tattoos with his face. Like, why is there,
mm,
different things happening? So, little teaser to like some concepts that you can get into.
Yep, yep. Love it. Incredible. And then I believe down here, talk about some of the other things that are being added too, right? So from animation to even music.
Yeah. Yeah, just to have it be an expanded experience where you can really live in this comic in this culture. So, we made an animation taking the first chapter and adding motion and different things to the story. So we already did that. Um, we split chapter 1 into 3 sections. So we already did episode 1, the first section. So this Kickstarter is going to have episode 2 as part of it. So we're including both of those episodes, and we have a stretch goal for episode 3. So, we can have a full animation series here, um, with this Kickstarter. And then, I'm also a musician, and you might see some instruments in the background and all that. And my good friend Jabari Tawia is a Grammy Award-winning engineer, producer, musician as well. And so when I was writing the comic book, he was like, "We need to do music for it too." I was like, "Let's do it." So we collaborated on the album. We had our friend Juno Brown come in, and she's rapping and singing as though she is Deva from the comic book.
That's so cool.
And then so now we're like expanding that. We're creating another music project with rapping and singing, and also since Jabari and I are both producers, we're gonna having an instrumental album. So it's like music to listen to as you're reading the comic book.
That is beautiful, man. I'll make sure I put the links to YouTube as well so people could check out some of the prior stuff, but I think that is so cool.
Yeah, and we have a my wife was in the music video here. She's like, embodying Deva for this is one of the new songs that's gonna be on the album. So there's a link there in the YouTube as well.
That is awesome, man. Absolutely incredible. And here it is right here.
Yeah, some imagery we made for the project, and then underneath that is the image from the first EP.
Incredible, man. Incredible. I love it, man. Look at that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I like these guys riding on motorcycles.
I kind of like it too, to be quite honest.
Yeah,
It's pretty dope, man.
I loved Ghost Rider coming up, growing up.
Oh
I was
yeah.
like, yeah, that was like one of my favorite comics. Just like it was just so badass. The wheels were on fire. His head was a flaming skull. The chains. Then he makes his powers to make people suffer the guilt of the wrongdoings they've done. I was like, yeah, it was epic.
I love it, man. And then we get into more of your of the depth that you've kind of put into not just the storytelling, but even the meaning behind it, which I think is really cool too, right?
Yeah, so this is a symbol I made for this Kickstarter. This I wanted to have something simple that represented the comic and the movement and this idea of indigos and something folks could incorporate into their lives. So there's a lot of symbology here. So this section is explaining some of the symbology and we're gonna have merchandise with a symbol on it and stuffs. And then yeah, tying together the colors from the logo and
Yeah,
all of that.
it looks awesome, man. And then let's jump into the team. So we know Steven, where any comic book fan should be aware of you and your work, but you are the illustrator for sure. And then Rai, you are the creator. And then you've been talking a little bit about Walt and those amazing colors that really bring that artwork to life. That's Walt Barna, who I mean just killed it on even those covers, man, just incredible.
Yeah, for folks that are into comics right that are being released right now, Walt is all over the place. He's done work for Boom, I think DC, a
Still,
bunch of different indie artists.
yeah.
Incredible. And then Mr. Joseph Illidge, if you don't know who he is, you should probably look that up. If you're a comic book fan, he's done a lot in comic books, just like you, Steven. And then we have MXT right here,
Yes, that's my wife.
your wife. Yeah.
Miss T is how she would pronounce
Oh,
it.
I'm
And
sorry, Miss T. Yep.
yeah,
Apologize.
she like embodies the Indigo Clan in real life. She's done like Indigo Child Mystery School, teaching children some of these concepts and doing fun things in nature. And together we've done a couple experiences. We've uh, made an organization called Afro-Indigo Retreats, bringing descendants of Africa together for cultural immersions with different indigenous tribes. And we also do sound healing together. Auspicious Acoustics is our sound healing group where we do events helping people to relax, um, you know, heal, and we also make videos, meditation videos on YouTube.
That's cool. Well, I'll put the links down. I'll get the links from you, Raya, on those as well. We'll put that below too if people are interested. So I appreciate that.
Hmm.
And then we have Jabari, what we were talking about. This is the gentleman that did the Indigo Clan logo, correct? One of the things that he did, right?
Actually, Jabari's he did not do the logo. He's the producer of the music.
I apologize. Yep.
Yeah, he also did the soundtrack for the animation. So, and he's a Grammy Award winning, producer, engineer, musician.
That's crazy.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then we get into all of you folks. There's Walt, Joseph, Miss T, Jabari. And then oh, so this was issue chapter one artist,
Yeah,
right?
That's right.
Anthony? Yeah.
yes.
Very cool. And there's Ross. That's who I meant. I apologize. Ross is the logo artist, yeah. Which came out really dope, by the way.
Yeah, he was my first choice when I was thinking about who I would want to ask, you know, and because he does graffiti, but he does like spiritual graffiti, so I knew he was like gonna make something really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Very cool. All right, let's jump into some of these rewards, right? With it launching, man, you have some early bird stuff that we could talk a little bit about. You want to jump into that first, right?
Yeah, just want to honor the folks that, are ready and to join the movement and really get into this Indigo universe. So those first 3 days, we're putting this bundle together, which, it's at the regular price of just the books. We're also including the animation, 2 episodes, and all the music, albums of music into these tiers. Here we have the digital download, the paperback, and the hardcover.
Nice. Well, very cool, man. All right, what is this Codex collector? This is just the books by itself, then?
Yeah, just giving cool names to the different tiers. That's, kind of concepts from the comic. So codexes means just like a collection of ancient writings. So just folks that just want the book, either have a budget or, just want to keep it simple. Um, this is for you.
Very cool, man. The hardbound looks like it's going to be pretty dope.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna hold on to some of those.
Very cool, man. And then you got tier two.
Yeah, so this is the earlier bird special. So this is the regular pricing for that. So if you want this one, definitely get the early birds so you can save some money.
Very cool. Then we get into merch, the warrior tier.
Yeah, the box set like ready to join the Indigo Clan movement. Um and we have the Indigo symbol in here, the box holding everything together, beanie, t-shirt on the first tier, and this next tier as we start getting into some other things. There's a really unique crystal called Indigo Aura crystal included just to kind of incorporate some of this experience into our lives. The crystal can have, you know, um, energetic benefits, and the mug, the all over print hoodie with the indigo symbol on it, all over print backpack, just ready to join the tribe. And then this is a last section of this tier. It's
Mhm.
the only place you can get the foil cover. So it's going to be super limited foil cover. Um, Probably the only time we're going to make it. So this is a super special opportunity for collectors and folks that are just all about it.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And this is for any shops out there that want to carry the book, right?
That's right.
Yeah, this is cool that you make this available as well. So if you have your own LCS, this is the time to jump in to make sure you have this as this launches for those folks that happen to not see the Kickstarter. They could still get their hands on this amazing illustrated story and all that good stuff book, man.
Hmm. Yeah, here we have the original pencils from Steven for
And
a
Steven.
couple of the covers. Yeah. So, yeah, one of one, on the Stratham Bristleboard comic book template paper. Um, yeah, really special opportunity for art collectors.
Yeah, I would think that would go quick. Chapter three. Oh, with the harpy.
Chapter 3, I think Steven is having a hard time letting go of this one.
I could see that. This would be hard for me to let go too. That
Yeah.
if I could draw like that, it would be hard for me to let go. I definitely wouldn't be fetching $800 if I drew this. Maybe $8, but not $800. That is dope, man. Incredible.
Yeah, and we even have the trade collection pencils on there, which is like even more special. Well, I don't know if it's even more special, but it's like really unique offering here. Um, I don't know if this will be available again if somebody doesn't take it right away.
Wow. Incredible. And then this is really cool too for I mean, jump into this because this is actually really cool that you're making this available as well.
Yeah, just, a lot of folks will really resonate with this comic book and, the movement and everything, and or people that are artists themselves, indie publishers, writers, musicians, into energy healing and these different things. So I also do energy healing as a practice. And
Mm.
so I'm offering, energy healing. I'm calling it Indigo activation energy healing and helping folks, with a lot of different things. So it's in the description is in the Kickstarter. And then Jabari, he's been in the music industry for 15 years. He's won a Grammy. He's worked with all kinds of artists. He's a really great audio engineer, music producer, musician. So, some folks might want to really activate and empower their musicianship or their music projects. And then Steven also has a lot of experience in industry, 30 plus years, and he's willing to also do one-on-one consultation calls with folks to kind of people who want to step up their artistry, learn what it takes, have a deep conversation about art, learn about, you know, whatever it is that they might want to. So that's yeah, really special that he's also available and offering that.
It's awesome, man. And this is to get your name added.
Yeah, sponsors. So, it's a way to get recognition to officially join the Indigo Clan and also just sponsor the movement, help the movement grow, and get your name immortalized in the book.
That's cool.
So, yeah, the first tier is having the name on the special mentions Indigo list. The second tier is like advertising your business. There's only a few of those available, and then we're even offering folks to be have credit as a producer because it takes a lot of work, time, and resources to make something like this, and we want to acknowledge folks that believe in it and want that those credentials.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And this one right here, this is like everything, man. You want everything, you got to cheer for
Yeah,
it,
well, we call it Ascended Master Ultimate Activation. So
right?
all the things like all the foil cover box set, and then all the calls. Oh, sorry. So in the other tier with Steven, I'm also including myself in that tier as an indie publisher. So somebody who also, can kind of get a two different perspectives about um, indie publishing, writing, artistry, creativity, those types of things. And then an ultimate activation. So we have the call with Steven, Jabari, myself as an indie publisher, also with another call with myself doing the Indigo activation energy healing. Um, and then also personal referrals to the Kickstarter marketing specialist and a Kickstarter publicist who are really helping a lot behind the scenes. Shout out to them and it's really special to be working with them and getting all this guidance and it's super powerful. They're helping other Kickstarters have a lot of success. So it's really a ultimate hookup uh, tier.
Yeah, that's definitely the hookup tier right there.
Yeah.
You get everything. And then you got some add-ons, which is cool, man. I love that sticker. That is dope.
Uh-huh. And then the sticker pack, all the characters, by Walt Barna.
Very cool, man. Poster, chakra.
Poster. Yeah, I'm gonna add a poster of the cover as well. So that'll be another thing I'm gonna add during the campaign here. So
Nice.
stay tuned. I know I have some mugs that have the comic book art and stuff on them, so I know folks like that. And then getting into like, you know, the wearing the movement, having that symbol of protection. Hmm.
Very cool, man. Lots of stuff, man, to choose from. Just
Yeah, my son was helping me. He doesn't really wear white, so I'm like, I should make, black versions.
yeah. I don't know, man. Very cool.
And then just being able to buy like folks that get one of the tiers, they might just want an extra book here. So one for the kids or, digital download for the phone or tablet,
Yeah,
one for the collection, you know.
that's cool, man.
And then here's some of this, more unique indigo themed offerings. My wife makes these anointments, aromatic oils that have energetic benefits and um, help to clean energies type of things. Here's the indigo aura crystal, which is also being offered and some of the benefits there. And then another unique thing here, the pendulum and training. So in my energy healing work, I use a pendulum to douse yes or no answers to help to find sources of people's problems and these types of things. And so I'm selling the pendulum, and it's also going to come with a video with training techniques of how to use pendulums and how to increase skills and techniques for intuition beyond only the pendulum as well.
Nice. And then, of course, we have some stretch goals. So, my sense is that you'll surpass your what you're asking on the Kickstarter. So, we'll probably be jumping into some of these stretch goals as well, which is really cool.
Yeah, chapter 6, we've already started it. Steven's already done the pencils for about half the book. This is actually a page of the pencils, so we want to include a chapter 6 cover in this book so that folks can be, have that epic next, what's coming next at the end there. And then there's episode 3 I mentioned earlier, so we have an episode series of episodes. Um, and then this third one is something very special of something I've been wanting to do since I started the comic book, but just haven't done it, of having a training manual in the book and kind of explaining some of the things like giving different types of meditations and um, energy cultivation and um, mind, body, spirit training tools to really incorporate some of these indigo uh, powers, human potential into our lives.
That's awesome, man. Some
And then,
covers.
yeah, well, Barna's, we saw chapter 5, like he's also an amazing cover illustrator, so we want to give folks option to experience a cover with him. We have a special another industry artist that we're going to announce soon, who is also available for a variant cover.
Yeah, very cool.
And then Chapter Zero digital comic Deva origin story. So, uh, yeah, short comic of what Deva was doing before she joined the Indigo Clan, but because she still had her powers, and so some of the experiences and a little bit of like the background between where she came from, what was happening, and
Yeah,
yeah.
that's awesome, man. Well, very cool, man. That's all.
Yeah. The rest of it's pretty much the fulfillment,
Yeah.
things that
Yeah. All the business side.
exactly just letting people know some clarity and transparency around, you know, um, what it takes to put this together, where we're at with it, how we're going to execute these types of things.
Yeah. Well, incredible. I'm gonna put the link below. I'll make this really easy for everybody to jump in and back the project. But gentlemen, congratulations. This is pretty awesome, man. The art is beautiful, Stephen. The story is really cool, right? I mean, yeah, I haven't read anything like that, so I was hooked, my friend. I was hooked. That's
Okay.
so I appreciate it. I had a blast reading it, and we'll do our part to make sure that we get the word out as much as possible during those 30 days that it's a Kickstarter. So, yeah, certainly want to see you succeed. I know you will. But yeah, if there's anything I could do, please let me know. But everybody, all the information that we talked about today is going to be below. You have the link to the Kickstarter, you have all the socials, you have the YouTube channels that we talked about. Anything else before we let you go that you need to let fans know, Stephen or Rye?
No, New York Comic Con's coming this weekend.
Yes.
I'll be
You
I'll
all
be
be there?
walking around, talking about this to people who will listen.
I love
So
it.
yeah, that's coming up. So October, what's I went the wrong month on the calendar. Okay, October 9th to 11th, or
Yes. That sounds right. Yeah, next weekend, right?
yeah, October 11th, 9th to 12th, right?
It is, I'll tell you right now, it's going to be October 9th through the 12th, right?
Hmm.
Thursday through Sunday.
Yep, yep,
So 9th through the 12th. Yeah, I mean that's a big one. So
yeah.
yeah, if you see Steven walking around, go ask him about Indigo Clan for sure.
Yeah, thank you, Thomas. Appreciate it. And yeah, just I would invite folks to follow us on Instagram as we make announcements for the Kickstarter. We'll be working hard on it all month and revealing things and having special pushes and special interviews and podcasts going on. So Indigo_Clan_comic on Instagram. Steven, what's your Instagram?
Instagram is at N Stephen Harris, Stephen with a V. So yeah, at N Stephen Harris at Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook, Blue Sky,
TikTok?
TikTok. Yes,
Yeah.
all with N Stephen Harris or N
Nice.
Stephen.
Nice, nice. Well, I'll make sure I put those down below too to make it easy for everyone. But it was a pleasure meeting both of you and really appreciate you entrusting me with your story. I had a blast talking to you and cannot wait to see you succeed in your Kickstarter. I hope we could do this again too. Once all this is over with, the Kickstarter is done. Man, I would love to have you both back on, especially when you get
Yeah.
issue 6.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I had a great time talking with you. I look forward to talking again. And it's great to meet you. Thank you so much for having us. Thank you for your time.
Yes, thank you,
Likewise.
sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. No, I appreciate you both. Until next time, I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend and we'll talk soon.
Thank
Sounds
you.
good.
Bye.
All
Take
right,
care.
bye.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.